In May of 2022, NBA YoungBoy refused to re-sign with Atlantic Records for $25 million. And YoungBoy landed right in the hands of the biggest blood, Birdman.
I've been telling you about NBA YoungBoy.
That's a long time.
How long I've been telling you about Lil Blood?
Now, NBA YoungBoy throughout the past couple years hasn't had the greatest artist-to-label relationship with Atlantic Records. Now, rewinding back to 2017, YoungBoy signed with the label for a 5-album, 5-year deal worth $2 million. And over this 5 years, YoungBoy put out over 20 projects and fulfilled his contract requirements multiple times and still had bad issues with Atlantic Records. The biggest issue that YoungBoy had at the time was Atlantic Records wouldn't give YoungBoy his masters. Now, YoungBoy even made offers to the label saying, hey, if I give you my next 4 albums, can I own back my masters? And the answer was, of course, no. During the time where he was beefing with Atlantic, he put out this tweet on his YouTube saying, I was going #1 2 weeks straight with a mixtape. So they took it off the charts. I don't give a F, you still can't stop me. Don't sign to Atlantic. If you're an artist, they're not going to support you if you live a certain way. Now, it's been over 5 years since NBA YoungBoy has been on tour, and the entire hip-hop world is on its feet, ready to see Make America Slime Again. Now, while at a show, which I believe was in New York or New Jersey, Academics, Vlad, and Birdman linked up behind the stage and pretty much talked about the state of the hip-hop world and the success of NBA YoungBoy. Now, during this conversation, Birdman was speaking on the fact that he saw the value of YoungBoy early on that a lot of people didn't see. And how essentially, when YoungBoy was facing house arrest charges during 2021 and 2022, Mike Kaiser, who was a CEO exec at Atlantic Records at the time, essentially basically gave him the rights to NBA YoungBoy for free.
You told me this like years ago, man. You told me this shit years ago, and I was saying, you know when we see Mike Kaiser?
Facts.
We see Mike Kaiser at Barclays.
Big fact.
Yo, first things. Yo, Stunner said this. Mike Kaiser, nigga, at Atlantic. That's the executive. He said, I don't even think he worked there no more, but Stunner looks at him and says, and he points at YoungBoy on stage and said, you gave him to me. He just gave him to me.
No money. I was like, Mike, I was confused. I would gave Mike $10-20 million.
You know when I asked him what he said? And this told me everything about labels. He says, Ack, what you want me to do? The nigga was in jail. They don't know what to do with him.
He had a rough start.
Yeah, but hey, Stunner gonna rock.
He gave blood to me. I'm like, man, that what you doing? Alright, fuck it. I knew he gave him to me. Like, I would have gave him $10-20 million for blood. And that man gave that man to me, man. Like, gave him to me. Like, you can have it. They was like tired of him. I was trying to get him and
Now, Birdman would talk about that when he constructed this new deal, he actually initially wanted NBA YoungBoy and Kodak Black. Now, this is a funny mention because a lot of people say on the internet through Twitter and through Instagram that actually where YoungBoy's career is supposed to be, which I disagree with, they believe Kodak's career should be right next to him, but Kodak had a crazy drug problem, so he just never really reached those heights. What Birdman would say in another clip was that fact that he essentially foreshadowed YoungBoy's career and that he was telling Academics from 2017 that YoungBoy was going to be a star. Now, Birdman is a man of his word, and I do support Birdman because, one, Birdman's from Louisiana as well as NBA YoungBoy, and if you look back from 2017, my real YoungBoy fans, we know Birdman had We Poppin', Diamond Teeth Samurai. He was with YoungBoy in the field early in his career 8 years ago. This isn't nothing new. This isn't like an old head trying to get next to a new nigga because he's getting some real money. Birdman has been by YoungBoy's side since 2017. They had the album, the Bayou album that came out with both their faces merged together with the blue and black cover that came out in 2021. They have their song Heart and Soul, Blackball from that same album, that joint album. Like, Birdman has been a pivotal figure in hip-hop who's actually supported NBA YoungBoy. And when he saw YoungBoy's career early on and knew he was going to be great, he called it and he wasn't lying.
How long I've been telling you about Lil Blood?
Hey,
real.
Yo, I'm gonna be honest with you.
How long I've been telling you about Lil Blood?
Hey, we gotta do another.
How
interview.
long I've been telling you about Lil Blood?
You told me he was the greatest.
Way back then, bro.
You told me he was the greatest.
Man, I've been told you about Lil Blood.
I ain't gonna lie. And we never even put this interview out. Bird told me, he said this little nigga gonna be the greatest ever. And I named a couple people. I couldn't believe you said.
And you ain't believe me.
I ain't believe you.
You ain't believe me.
I ain't believe you.
You ain't believe me.
Because here's the thing. I know he impactful, but the people we compare him to hit them heights. Like at that point, I ain't even see. Like I'm like maybe he's not an arena show artist here. Or maybe they won't accept him to do the arena.
Didn't believe what I believed in back then.
But that's why you Phil Jackson though.
Big facts.
He's Phil Jackson though.
Phil Jackson. I agree.
Hey,
You gotta imagine, like he got Kobe, Mike, like come on.
this little nigga, I always knew he was special. And now, if you go back to my interview with Lil Wayne, I'll say, hey, no, bro, I love Lil Baby. That's our little homie. I was like, nah. Blood. Now it turned to be Blood. Lil Blood, man, my little nigga, man. He that nigga, bro.
You know how to pick him, man.
I don't know, I just got that gift. I just got a gift that God gave me, and I'm honorable to have that. You heard me? I had it a long time from Wayne, Drake, Nicki, Highball.
The conversation between Birdman and academics later proceed to how long NBA YoungBoy's run will continue or how much longer it's going to be in the game. Now, Birdman said YoungBoy's run will continue for another 10 years. Now, for those of you who haven't been closely following YoungBoy's career, he really got really popular in 2017 with his song Untouchable from AI YoungBoy 1. But for those who've been following his career from before, 2016 when he had the Gravity 38 Baby was when he was getting some serious traction in the streets in the neighboring areas outside of the state of Louisiana. Now for YoungBoy, I don't feel like YoungBoy has much more tours to give. Now the reason why this tour was so special is because he was on house arrest for damn near 3 years. He was fighting 2 federal gun cases, one in California, the other one in Louisiana. He was on house arrest running a prescription drug ring because he had to fund a certain thing that he couldn't get because he was at home. And YoungBoy really being on tour, do I think he has 10 more years? Absolutely. But how many tours does YoungBoy have after the Make America Slime tour? I'm going to say 1, 2 being the max. When YoungBoy hits 30, 32, we might never see him or hear from him again. He's going to dip off of the 100 M's and live damn near fucking Italy or somewhere like that. That's how he's moving.
What you think he got left? Like an extra 10 run? Like
At least a 10 ball.
At least a 10. Damn.
At least a 10 ball.
Damn.
At least a 10 ball. At least a 10 ball. It might be a 20 ball. Cause hey, bro, Lil Wayne been doing this shit for. You heard me? But I know we got at least a 10 ball.
After this, you check it out. You check it out.
For a fact.
For a fact. This is all right. This is the
I'm not
last.
gonna be 7 years old doing this shit.
Okay, after this, all right.
I'm done.
Now, I made a tweet about this over 2 years ago, and make sure you guys follow me at star with 2 R's Wonder on Twitter. That Birdman, in my opinion, is probably one of the most prolific and legendary record label execs because of his eye for talent. Now, the analogy or comparison that we have for Birdman is the Phil Jackson of the rap industry. And why do I say that? Phil Jackson, known NBA coach, he coached Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman. Then in the 2000s, he coached Shaq, Kobe Bryant, Tyronn Lue. Like, he coached so much talent and a new eye for great coaching and great players that he just won so many rings. When it came to Birdman, he found Lil Wayne early. He later got Nicki Minaj. He had the entire Hot Boys. And then, of course, later came Drake. And now with this new realm of things, he had Stug in 2015 with the Rich Gang movement with Rich Homie Quan. And then YoungBoy a year or two later, and he found YoungBoy from Louisiana. So Birdman definitely has one of the best eyes for talent in the city or in the state of hip-hop. And if you were to ask me, he's definitely one of the greatest record label execs because not only does he care about his artists when the money is right, he's on tour with NBA YoungBoy to make sure that he doesn't fuck up the bag because he knows artists blow through that money quick. YoungBoy probably is going to make a good 20 to 30 million from his tour. It's alleged that he's going to make $800K a show. I saw academics breaking it down, and I got to do the math to find out how much that's going to be because I think he has like 30 or 40 shows. But YoungBoy's on a crazy run right now. And Birdman actually outsmarted Atlantic Records to get YoungBoy for free because they didn't know what YoungBoy, someone who was in and out of jail for past on and off months facing house arrest, was going to be. They thought it was the end for him. 4 years from now, they thought that YoungBoy would just be like a name that we bring up. Oh, yeah, I remember when YoungBoy released X, Y, and Z. Oh, yeah, Renata, that was cool. Oh, yeah, Outside Today was cool. But no, like, this man is still one of the most prolific rappers of today's time. And I'm actually going to do a case study on YoungBoy because I saw a tweet that spoke to me, and it said, YoungBoy is one of the most interesting case studies in rap over the past decade. He has no number one songs. Not one song has ever charted higher than number 10, and I've only heard 2 of his songs on the radio. But his impact is undeniable, and my son and his friends know his songs word for word. Now, when I was at the YoungBoy concert, I was asking people how they felt about YB and what his career meant to them, and a lot of people actually said YoungBoy was the Michael Jackson of our generation. Now, a lot of people could feel that's disingenuous, how we don't understand how big Michael Jackson's impact is, But for someone who doesn't get played on the radio, his music isn't heavily pushed, and it's essentially sales and streams is driven through a consumer low audience, that is Michael Jackson effect if you ask me.